Hi guys, I'm sorry. Um, we have somewhere to be at 5:15, so I was trying to get this stream in, and I had to go get ready and all that good jazz. So anyway, we are ready to rock and roll here. So sorry, I'm so late. I see you all have been conversating. That's always awesome. Hi, Daryl. I know that is surprising, isn't it, Daryl? Hi, Heidi. How are you, sister? Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Miss Helen. Hello. I hope Brooke is doing so much better. And we love you. Hi, Watchman. How are you? So good to see you. Anyway, guys, this is going to be one of them fast streams. And I have so much to show you guys because I put a lot in the for your eye section, but it was a crazy news day, guys. It really is. And let's see if this ever, he said there was something breaking, but all right. Hmm. All right. Okay. So, all right. Now this isn't going to be in. This is breaking. So we're going to go ahead and share out the stream here, guys. Let me get rid of this one. I think. Um, but I know you guys are good with that. You don't have to have each and every little thing. You guys always see the sources here. We don't make this stuff up. Although, sometimes it wouldn't be too hard. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much, sister. Hi, MG. How are you, brother? Oh, and continued prayers. Hi, Rip Curl. How are you, brother? All right, guys. So let's get into this late breaking news. This is from Raw News Alert, and then we're going to get into the headlines. And all the headlines, except for this, is in the description in the box below. So here it says the FBI has arrested a transgender woman plotting violence against Jews, Black people, and allegedly targeting transphobic coworkers with Nazi imagery and a stockpile of guns and ammunition. The FBI has arrested a 56-year-old transgender woman named Elizabeth Balsteros West, who lives in a Cottage Grove, Oregon. West was found with a cache of guns and has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. According to the federal agents and court records, West is being held at the Lane County Jail. An investigation is ongoing. Allegedly, West made threats online to harm, to kill Jews and Black people, and reposted content about mass shooting while displaying her own Nazi flag and multiple guns. She also threatened the transphobic co-workers. She was found with 16 rifles, 11 handguns, tens of thousands of ammunition, road gun accessories, 48 drawings, and a composition notebook called Black Shadow Journal. My goodness, she must have a really good job. Just saying. Just saying. He's going to do a talk about there. But the affidavit states that West, the self-proclaimed Nazi dominatrix from hell, who is tired of the blackening of Americans and Europe and is ready to stand up for the Black orcs and the Jewish wizards, was first visited by the FBI in September when they received a tip about one of her Facebook posts in which she appeared to threaten her co-workers. From an affidavit, one picture was titled "Veiled Mistress, the Manslayer, Queen of the Underworld." The composition notebook she called the Black Shadow Journal had a first page with the sentence "Blood, death, self-torture, self-hatred, wicked thoughts of mass murder at the gloved hands of Veiled Mistress," in which she drew a Black child appearing to die in a car accident. Guys, this is horrible. People just need help. I mean, my goodness sakes, this really is absolutely just horrendous. And I pray she gets the mental health that she needs. Anyway, we will continue on with the rest of our news. But that is just absolutely crazy, guys. Anyway, so here we go with the headlines. First up, Pakistan removes, let's turn this The Middle East is boiling. We will strike, Iran says the nuclear Pakistan recalls their ambassador in a Tehran video. Iran, we are not playing with our security. We destroyed a Mossad base. There was no mistake. The situation in the wider region of the Middle East is chaotic as after Iran's missile strikes in Iraq, which provoked strong reactions from the Iraqi government and the Kurds. Tehran launched airstrikes against targets on Pakistani soil, opening new fronts and escalating the cycle of violence. Pakistan, which has nuclear weapons, spoke of violations of its national sovereignty and warned of harsh retaliation, while anger prevails in both Iraqi and Kurds over yesterday's crime by Iran, with the Iraqis arguing that it is possible to suspend the security agreement with Iran. We won't understand them, so I'm not going to play it. Iran's airstrikes against targets on Pakistani soil have dangerously escalated tensions between the two states, although it is common for armed groups on both sides to fire and exchange fire. However, these attacks have so far not involved the two armies. Iran launched airstrikes against the bases in Sunni group Chash al-Adad, an organization claiming independence for the areas of the southern Iran, which is said to be seeking independence for Baluchistan province, which straddles the 1,000-kilometer borderline between the two states. Pakistan claims that the attack killed 2 children aged 11 months and 6 years and injured 2 more women and a teenage girl. Information indicates that the attack was carried out with missiles and 3 or 4 drones, which hit various buildings, such as a mosque and a residence. As destroyed by the Iranian news agency Tansim, Iranian Revolutionary Guard and Border Force launched an attack as reported. I don't know what I just said, but as reported, an attack to destroy the core of Chash al-Adha organization, which Iran considers a terrorist organization. Iranian border forces conducted the operation against them. We aren't going to read all that. We're going to just read today's headlines. We have detailed information that the site that was targeted in Iraq was indeed the Mossad headquarters, and there was no mistake on our part. We respect Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity, but we will not allow our nation's security to be compromised. Mossad agents and operatives who harm and target Iranian security were attacked with missiles. We have a security agreement with Iraq to keep Iran's borders safe. We respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Pakistan and Iraq, but we will not allow Iran's security to be compromised. We don't play around when it comes to our national security. We do not tolerate the presence of terrorists in Pakistan and Zionist presence in Erbil. We see the security of Iraq and Pakistan as a part of the security of Iran. None of the Pakistani citizens were targeted by Iranian missile drones. We targeted the terrorist group Jahash al-Adha, which has taken refuge in Baluchistan, Pakistan. Iran has discussed this matter with Pakistani officials and authorities on several occasions regarding the response against this Iranian terrorist group on Pakistan soil. Before this meeting, I spoke with the Pakistani counterpart about this attack. And he said Pakistan reserves the right to respond at a place and a time chosen by the country, pointing out that it will be measured strike in line with the expectations of public opinion. Iran has set a dangerous precedent that is destabilizing, and we will have mutual consequences, the Pakistani officials said. Pakistan's foreign ministry, which earlier called Iran's missile strike illegal, announced it was recalling its ambassador from Iran and would not allow the Iranian ambassador to return to Pakistan. This violation of Pakistani national sovereignty is completely unacceptable and may have serious consequences, Pakistan Foreign Ministry said. Pakistan always says that terrorism is a common threat to all countries in the region and requires coordinated action. Such unilateral actions do not conform to good neighborly relations and could undermine bilateral trust, Pakistan said. Anyway, so there you go. So they will answer when they choose, right? Here's more of end time headlines saying Pakistan warns of consequences. And we're not going to read this, but this is from end time headlines for you to, it's just the same. We've got the message, right. But here is Russians' response immediate to Macron, French mercenary base bombed in Ukraine, over 60 dead and 20 injured. Instantaneous was Russia's response to the statements of Macron, who announced on Tuesday night that Paris will deliver to Kyiv 40 long-range Scallop missiles and hundreds of bombs. Almost at the same time, the Russian army was shelling a base, foreign mercenaries in Kharkiv, the majority of whom were French. Moscow's announcement raises many questions. It is the first time he speaks of a large corps of French mercenaries. Were they really mercenaries or officers of the soldiers of the French army who organized the defense of the city? On the evening of January 16, the Russian army forces carried out a high-precision strike on the temporary deployment point of foreign fighters in the city of Kharkiv, the core of which were French mercenaries. The strike completely destroyed the building where the mercenaries were. More than 60 fighters were killed. More than 20 were taken to medical institutions, the Russian statement said. We're going to jump down here. We're reading just the italic, guys. And we're going to go here. We remind you that on the 11th month, Russia bombed a hotel in Kharkiv, which according to Moscow was a base of the Ukrainian ED. 13 people were injured among 2 journalists of the Turkish media, a Turkish citizen and a Georgian citizen. The Ukrainian prosecutor's office said on Telegram, clarifying that 10 people are hospitalized. Anyway, I guess Russia's saying they're not playing. I guess maybe France, Russia, maybe Macron got the message. I don't know. But he sent in another message. He's not done, or at least his advisors are. Bomb, Medved. Ukraine will be erased from the map and will join the Russian Commonwealth. Kyiv is again a target for the Russian army. Life in a great Commonwealth is better than death. The vice president of Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, spoke about the total disappearance of Ukraine from the map and its inclusion in a Russian Commonwealth in a post on Telegram. It is the first time that something like this has been heard from the Russian side. However, it confirms new Russia's goals. It is a total occupation of Ukraine. It is important to clarify that by the term historical Russian lands, Medved includes Kyiv. Better life in Russia than death. The sooner the Ukrainians realize this, the better, says Medved. The post of the former president and prime minister of Russia, the existence of Ukraine is mortally dangerous for Ukrainians. And I don't just mean the current state, the political regime of Bandera. I'm talking about absolutely any Ukraine. Why the presence of an independent state or historically Russian lands will now be constant reason for the resumption of hostilities. Regardless of who is at the helm of the cancerous growth under the name of Ukraine, this will not add legitimacy to their sovereignty and the legal viability of the country itself, and therefore the possibility of a new conflict will continue indefinitely, almost always. Moreover, there is a 100% chance of another conflict, regardless of security documents the West signs with the puppet regime of Kyiv. Neither the connection of Ukraine with the EU nor even the entry of the artificial country into NATO will prevent it. This can happen in 10 or 50 years. That is why the existence of Ukraine is fatal for Ukrainians. They are practical people, and at the end of the day, as much as the Russians now wish they were dead, as much as they hate the Russian leadership, no matter how much they try to join the mythical European Union and NATO, choosing between eternal war and inevitable death in life, the vast majority of Ukrainians, well, maybe with the exception of a small number of frozen nationalists, will ultimately choose life. They will understand that life is a great commonwealth, which they do not much like now, is better than death. Their death and the death of their loved ones. And the sooner Ukrainians realize this, the better. Well, guys, that's really kind of cut and dry there, isn't it? I don't know how that'll end, but, I guess it won't. Hi there, Smoky Mountain Gal. Hi, Mike. How are you? So good to see you, brother. Anyway, so we also have from Zero Hedge, the Red Sea conflict is getting worse, not better, forcing more ships detours around Africa. U.S. and the UK airstrikes on Houthi positions in Yemen have not made the Red Sea any safer for shipping. Red Sea issues are getting worse and not better. And the stifle shipping analyst, Ben Nolan. The dark bulk carrier Gibraltar Eagle, owned by a Connecticut-based Eagle Bulk, was struck by an anti-ship ballistic missile in the Gulf of Aden on Monday. The Greek, owned by Druk carrier Zogorafia was also hit by a missile southern Red Sea on Tuesday. Energy shipper Shell halted all Red Sea transits on Tuesday, as did the big three Japanese tankers and bulk owners, the MOL, NYK, and K Line. Container ship diversions around the Cape of Good Hope now appeared likely to last for months. Spot rate gains from diversions will almost certainly extend into the period of when 2023 annual Trans-Pacific contracts are negotiated, pushed up contract rates. The Red Sea effect on tanker trades remains uncertain, although a tipping point may be very clear if crude and product tankers divert away from the Red Sea and the Suez Canal to the same extent as container ships. Tanker spots rates should rise because longer voyages would soak up tanker capacity. Anyway, this is a little bit lengthy, guys. It is here for your viewing pleasure. You can see that it is getting worse, not better. And so it just continues there. All right. We also have from the End Time Headlines, Pentagon Inside warns we are on the brink of World War III. Guys, in my opinion, I don't see how you can't say that we're not in World War III, even though, you know, there might not be massive bombs per se, like nukes or atomic bombs or things of that nature flying at people. But to see so much war and so much conflict going on, you know, everywhere, I can't even begin to say how we couldn't even, you know, constitute that we're in already in somewhat of a World War III type scenario. Anyway. A source inside the Pentagon has warned Daily Express U.S. that we are on the brink of World War III amid surging conflict in the Middle East, sparked largely by Iran. The warning comes as Iranian-backed proxies destabilize the Middle East by attacking Israel and U.S. targets, as well as international shipping in the region. Iran itself has also carried out strikes in the neighboring Iraq and Pakistan, as well as Syria, sending tensions soaring. Defense experts Nicholas Drummond echoed concerns that this conflict in the Middle East could potentially escalate, but warned that if Tehran directly attacked Israel, the ensuing war would be the end of Iran. Speaking to Daily Express, the U.S., he said Iran's agenda in the region and globally has been exposed, and Iran is on the back foot. The West is saying to Iran, behave yourself or we will attack you directly. Anyway, so you see all of these little skirmishes taking place. We're going to call them skirmishes because, you know, it's a hit here. It's not constant battle, I guess, is what they're considering a complete war. But, I mean, we already have, you know, an invasion here. I don't know how many more people can come in here before people would say we've been invaded, you know. Just saying. So I don't know. And you know, we've attacked the Houthis. It's just an ongoing thing. But now, guys, I have had my concerns about this man being assassinated, as I think many of you have. Whether you like him or hate him, I pray nobody wants to see anyone dead. Now, I know a lot of people would probably be dancing and everything else, but that is not what we will do in the event anybody's assassinated. I don't like Biden, but I don't want him assassinated. I mean, you know, I don't wish anybody death. So there we go. But anyway, so I would say that it's just one of those things, when you start seeing these types of articles being released, you have to know that something, you know, because they always tell you what they're going to do. You have to know something's up. Something's brewing. Somebody's going to try something. So that being said, the assassination attempts are on the rise worldwide. Is the U.S. next? Barely on the day passed in 2024 before another reminder was issued of one of the most serious developments in national security and terrorism, the increasing prevalence of political assassinations around the world. In South Korea, Lee Jae-myung, leader of Democratic Party of Korea, was stabbed in the neck on January 2nd by an assailant seeming motivated by corruption scandals surrounding Lee. The leader survived the attack. The attempt was just the latest in a long and growing line of assassination attempts against political leaders. In August of 2023, Ecuadorian presidential candidate Fernando Velocino was assassinated in Quito by Colombian hitman. In September of the previous year, a man sporting a Nazi tattoo attempted to assassinate the Argentine vice president, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, only for his gun to jam. That June, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was killed by a lone gunman with a homemade firearm, apparently for the leader ties with the Unification Church. The United States has avoided successfully high-profile assassinations during the recent escalation in domestic political violence, but not for the lack of trying. In 2022 alone, serious plots targeted Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and conservative Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. In both cases, they would-be assassins made it all the way to their target homes. Of note, these incidents underscore that assassination threats are not reserved by any one political ideology. They are weaponized by extremists of all stripes. Public service in the United States today often features a deluge of threats as an occupational hazard. Unfortunately, it's difficult to diagnose the cause of this apparent rise in assassinations attempts targeting various nations. So, guys, as you can see, that there has been, lots of things taking place, and so we should be praying for one, for love, for salvation, as always, but for these world leaders to be protected. I don't want anyone killed. So that being said, all right. This to me is just kind of like biblical type headlines. Millions of cicadas from two broads will emerge across multiple states this year. They have glowing red eyes and are known for their screaming and number in the millions. And this year, two different groups of broods of cicadas will emerge across multiple states with one singular glow, mating and laying million more eggs. After 13 years, the brood 19 is set to emerge in the spring of 2024 in 14 states across Southeast and Midwest. And 17-year-old brood 13 will emerge in 5 Midwestern states, according to Cicadas Mania. All the states where the broods will emerge this year, they are expected to overlap in Illinois and Indiana. You may remember the last brood of cicadas, Brood X, which emerged in the summer of 2021 across multiple eastern, southern, and Midwestern states. Here's what to know about this year's two cicada broods. Brood 19 is estimated to emerge in the states beginning mid-May and lasting through late June. Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. The brood last emerged in 2011 and has a 13-year life cycle. There we go. All right, guys. Now, this is just crazy, in my opinion. Biden weighs banning natural gas exports to save the climate. Guys, I just sometimes think that the man takes and plays with his brain sometimes. I mean, just saying. You already have such a strain on the grid as a whole, as itself, and he wants to make an even more strain. This is ridiculous in my opinion, but what do I know? He wants us in the dark ages, clearly. The climate fear mongers are pressuring Biden to ban natural gas exports. Let's discuss the ramifications. Political notes that Biden aides weigh climate tests for natural gas. The Biden administration is launching a review that could tap the brakes on the booming U.S. natural gas export industry. a move that threatens to pit the president's climate ambitions against his foreign policy agenda. The review, being led by the Department of Energy, will examine whether regulators should take climate change into an account when deciding whether a proposed gas export project meets the national interest, according to two people familiar with the reaction, who were granted an anonymity to discuss the deliberations that have not yet been publicly acknowledged. U.S. gas exports have jumped fourfold during the past decade as production has surged, turning the United States into the world's largest natural gas exporter and helping Europe replace Russian shipments after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. But Biden also faces growing pressure from environmental groups to live up to his pledge to transition away from fossil fuels, something the U.S. has also promised to do at the last month's climate summit in Dubai. Anyway, guys, this is kind of long, and I really have to speed this up. I'm sorry I can't read it all to you, but it's dangerous, in my opinion, getting rid of these fossil fuels so quickly, when you can see that every little piece is needed, and you strain our stuff and we're going to be in trouble. Davos speaker demands International Criminal Court prosecute ecocide, punish farmers alongside war criminals. This is outrageous, guys. This has me just, I don't know about you guys, but this is disturbing. Absolutely disturbing. International Criminal Court should add ecocide, it's brief, alongside genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes to criminalize the side effects of farming, fishing, and energy production, a green activist argued during the annual World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland. Now, guys, that's the big takeaway. I don't have the time to read this article today. I told you this had to be a quick stream, but I'll tell you, that is troubling to think that they're going to try to criminalize this. If you fisheries, things of that nature. It's just crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. I just don't even have the time to wrap my head around this. But looky here. Here, Tennessee Valley Authority asks customers to conserve power amid cold blasts. We're in trouble, guys, when we have to continuously. I cannot ever say before this administration took over, I want to ask you guys, will you turn this light on, Brady? How many times have you been asked to control your consumption of electricity? How many times? I'm just curious. I'm curious, how many times were you asked? Now, maybe in California, it's probably a natural thing in California, but never anywhere. I have lived in several different states, and I have never been asked to watch my consumption. Never. And I lived in Tennessee once upon a time and never, ever was asked to watch my consumption. And here they have situations where they're saying that you need to watch your consumption. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we're moseying on along here, guys. I'm trying to get this in as quickly as possible. Polls 65% of Americans unlikely to buy electric cars as they strand drivers in winter freeze. Now, this is what they want you to get. They want you to have electric cars so you can be stranded. They don't really want you to travel, but this is it. You're gonna, kill yourself in some kind of winter freeze because you can't get out. Absolutely crazy, guys. All right. Democrats and the MSM lackeys forgot to get facts over the Texas illegal immigrants drownings, Abbott says. I'm going to read you the italic real quick. Democrats forgot to get the facts before accusing Texas authorities of preventing the Border Patrol. We're going to go down here to this last paragraph. Okay. We demand that Texas case and desist its efforts to block Border Patrol access in around the Shelby Park area and remove the barriers access in Shelby Park, the DHS counsel says. Responding to the threat, Mr. Biden is going to do everything possible to eliminate strategies that actually prevent illegal immigrants from entering our country. Texas will continue to serve every tool possible to block illegal immigration. So apparently, they're not going to stop. Texas is saying, you can do whatever. We're going to stand strong. So hooray for Texas. We also have New York City Democrat Mayor Eric Adams imposing an 11 p.m. on illegal aliens. Now, guys, Eric is considering this. Has not been done, but I wonder why all of a sudden we're going to give curfew for illegal aliens. I don't know what that's about. I didn't really get to read that article. I was really hoping to have a chance to do it today, but I'm really busy, short for time, guys. King Charles has prostate procedure. Now, guys, what are the odds all of these, leaders, are Lloyd Austin here, having one and the king and just all of this stuff. So I don't know what to make of this, but maybe this is the real reason why he is thinking about abdicating from the throne and giving it to Prince William. But they're saying that there's no need for him to stand in for the king right now. Buckingham Palace read in a comment. So I guess he's going to be in the hospital and he'll be back to his normal self in 10 to 14 days. Go figure. So he's not stepping down yet. Not yet. But maybe that was why all of a sudden he was thinking it. Anyway, here's some pretty cool videos. Really quick. This is a footage of a rare snow-nado hitting the slopes in Colorado and Breckenridge Ski Resort. Look at that. Kind of like a dust devil, but it's not with dust, it's with snow. They're calling it a snow-nado. I don't think I've ever seen one. I've seen quite a bit, but that's unusual, right? All right. Then here's another one, but this is in Chicago, on the lake in Chicago, up-sea smoke on the lake of Chicago. See, isn't that crazy? Pretty crazy. Thought it was pretty cool anyway. So, hence there we are. There we go for cool pictures. Breaking Chinese lab had the 19 mapped 2 weeks before global outbreak. Wall Street Journal. Then we have Fannie Willis. This is our X corner. Legal documents suggest that DA Fannie Willis may be subject to RICO charges for the purported inappropriate relationship with prosecutor in Trump investigation in Georgia. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just saying. And then again, we have the National Independent. The White House hollering Putin still poses a danger to the world order and European security. I guess we're going to hear more about that, only because of the big threats he made today, right? And then JP Morgan Chase is now seeing hackers attempt to infiltrate its system 45 billion times a day, Bloomberg. From the inside of paper. All right, guys, this is the for-your eye section. I'm going to try and go through it real quick. Bill explains how the AI will change our lives in 5 years. More than a half of the U.S. 25,000 cities are predicted to become ghost towns by 2100. Britain is facing wars in Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea within the next 5 years. China's stock market is in a free-for-all. This one here, the CDS drafted an alert, but it never sent it. Zero Hedge again. Anthony Blinken stranded in Davos after his Boeing 737 breaks down. There's the Lloyd Austin, more about his 911 call and how he left and no lights and sirens, supposedly. And Breitbart, Georgia lawyer writes in Daily Beast why we can't shrug off the Fannie Willis scandal. And that's just more for the little tweet that we had earlier. And then, guys, if you get a chance, if you haven't seen this clip from Michael Moore, I'm telling you, you guys would not believe all the stuff that he says in support of Michael Moore. And here's on the election mess here. And this is in Illinois, I believe. No, Maryland elections. Sorry, I thought it was Illinois. Anyway, I thought she was the girl from Illinois the other day. Anyway, Maryland. Check it out, guys. Anyway, that's what we have for you today, guys. We love you all so very much. I do have to go. I think we kind of have to have a 5-year plan for something. 5 years keeps coming up, right? Anyway, I love you guys. I do. I am in a hurry. I'm sorry I couldn't hit every article all the way like we normally do, but we are rushed. But I wanted to get you guys the headlines. We'll be back later when we get back from church for Bible. Anyway, have a blessed night. We love you, and we'll see you all later. Bye.